Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. My name is Richard Lake and I'm out on another bike packing adventure, one of the final summer bike packing adventures of this year. Heading down to the River Trent again. Big bank holiday weekend. Cotswolds, Saturday evening, just south of the Peak District. Sunday evening, travel back home on Monday. In total, 3 camping spots, one of which is wild camping in what has become a usual spot for me now, which I've filmed many times. Out at Hovingham, which is not far from Loudon, just to the east of the city of Nottingham. Lovely riverside camping spot, nice and quiet, nice and peaceful, and just a great place to be away from everything. The place itself is known for wild camping and night fishing and like that, so you do not look out of our place camping in there, especially in the summer. So I'm going to start off with a question, and it's a question that I've not particularly got an answer for, but the question is, what is bike packing? It seems to mean different things to different people. Now if you watch a lot of videos on YouTube like I do, you're mistaken to thinking that bike packing is exclusively something you do in the countryside, off the roads, in the trails, in the valleys and in the mountains with no tarmac around. Well, that makes no sense. It's bike packing. You know, it's the process of packing stuff onto your bike. That's what bike packing is. So it's putting all this lovely luggage on, and that's bike packing, because you're packing stuff onto your bike. And that's, well, I said I wasn't going to give you answers, but that is my definition of bike packing. Feel free to discuss it down in the comments below. I think it's just been hijacked by people who like to ride gravel bikes. To be really, it doesn't matter what kind of bike you're riding, therefore it doesn't matter where you're riding, because when you get there you're doing a different activity, you're doing camping or wild camping. So we've got that out of the way with. It's just something that was been niggling with me recently. The only bit of off-road I'll be doing is right at the end to the campsite on the grass. I can still enjoy sometimes mountain views, but never too far from a road. Which is why in the not too distant future I want to get a gravel bike and do some gravel riding. So I think I've talked about the definition of bike packing enough, or my own opinion of bike packing. So again, head down in the comments below if you've got anything to say. Just gone through a road closure. Do you know when you overtake loads of cars on a busy road? It's up there on the same scale of satisfaction, isn't it? Going through a road closure that, you know, cars can't get through, but you can. Now I'd like to have a go at answering a question that got down in the comments below on a previous video. The question was about wild camping and how I go about finding spots. And the person in the comments kind of answered the question really, and that's I use Google Maps, I use Ordnance Survey maps, as in digital ones. I'll look at satellite views, work out how I'm going to enter that area, which is kind of the key one really. You just have to go out there and try and find them really. And if you get somewhere and you got a funny feeling like this doesn't feel quite right, you know, it's still light, just go somewhere else a little bit further up, keep on going. You need to find somewhere before it gets dark. That's your main objective. I tend to gravitate towards wooded areas or riverside. I mean, the thing about wooded areas, you get a lot of noise in the woods, deers, animals and things like that, and you need some earplugs with you. Depending on your frame of mind, sometimes it's hard to relax when you're in the woods, because that really is wild. I find the best spots really are riverside ones, against the water. You know, most animals what you'll see are like rabbits. Here's a good tip for you then. What I try and do is when I go riding, I try and remember spots in the daylight and think, oh, that'd be a good place. And what I do, you can set up your own collection of pins and you can just mark it off with, you know, wild camping spot, cemeteries with water, things like that. Set up as many maps as you like, give them different names and things. That's one way of doing it. But in terms of a variety of wild camping spots, for me personally, I need to get back out there and find some more. Tell you what, it is pretty chilly. I'm glad I brought a fleecy top. Look at that sunset. That is amazing. So, tents up. Quite a few people fishing around me. A couple of people up here. And set up on the corner. I have pitched up on there before previously. Up towards the memorial. But the last couple of times I pitched up right where I am now. So I'm about to cook some pasta. Cook something to eat. And as you can see, this trip, legs are covered. Arms are covered. Summer, although it's not over yet, certainly feels like it. So if you're new to my tent, this is the Monga 2 from Nature Hike. As you can see, it's quite spacious. I've not yet carried enough stuff to make use of that. A couple pockets at either end, number 1 and number 2 as well, so you can put a few bits out of the way. So it's got two porches. I tend to use this one for the cycling stuff. This one on over here, just like, you know, the helmet, things that I'm not going to require until I move really. This is where I have all my kitchen and food stuff, so I'm about to tuck into that. So yeah, quite a spacious tent. So it's described as a 1/2 person tent, and yeah, it's fairly accurate. It's quite spacious. Inside served me well. Oh, what a great night's sleep. Currently coming up to 7 o'clock. It's time to think about having breakfast and getting moving for a long day of riding the bike. Looks very nice out. It has been a really cold one, folks. Yeah, well equipped though. I'm glad I brought everything that I did. As you can see, got a bit of a rain jacket on me. And hooded jacket as well, just to add that extra little bit of warmth. On the pyro over here I've got my sleeping mat, which which is deflated. This is my new sleeping bag. It's the Microlight 100, and it just sat on top of the saddlebag on the back of the bike. Comfort. I mean, it's you know, the weather's changed now. It's no longer hot summer days. You need to keep warm on the bike. I think this is going to serve me well throughout the winter. If you know anything about camping, it's more about layering up than anything else. Right, I suppose better get some breakfast, get eating. What a gorgeous day. Should have bought my fingered gloves today, I think. I'm missing them already. I got some, all I've got is the padded ones, fingerless. I did a really good job of packing stuff away though to this trip really. I bought loads of warm, comforting stuff. I'm feeling the benefits of wearing 2 jackets. It's just my fingers, the extremities are cold now. Oh, get some coffee on the go, warmed up a little bit. There's no AirPress on this trip. It's simple, basic things. I'll do a trip at some point where I bring much more stuff. I'll probably bring the backpack for that. Anyway, so I've got, what I've gone with is a Cappuccino Classic. These ones from Aldi's, nice and cheap, and some good old Quaker oats as well. Packed up, ready to go. About to head that way south. Destination is the Cotswolds, Stow on the Wold to be precise. Before I move, remember yesterday I was talking about what is bike packing? Well, kind of an art form really, because if you've done this before you know how difficult it is if you've not got a fence or a gate or anything like that to pack your bike up. It becomes a bit of an art form. So I managed to do it. Stood up against me. And look at this. Wow. So we need to put in the tubes. Because packing away thinking, these came with me, they must fit in somewhere. If I stand my bike up, it looks a bit ugly on the back, that's where the stove is. But it's fully functional, it's not going anywhere. It's not about looks, it's about getting shit on the bike. Now before I do go, actually, I'm actually getting paid for this ride today. Audax points. If you don't know what Audax is, basically it's long distance cycling events held worldwide. I'll drop a link down in the comments and up in the corner as well if you want to go find out what is Audax. So there's not much to tell you on today's itinerary because every time I try and pronounce place names, I get them wrong. And someone takes their piss out of me. Croston Curiel. You know who you are. Well, seriously though, you know, if there's any good sights along the way, we'll take a look. Morning. So off in the distance is the lip of the Vale of Beaver. Well, not Vale, but you know, the Beaver. That hill, that ridge, whatever you call it. And the first little stop I was going to be going to was Lakeview Fishery. I'm well fed already, so I'm actually going to knock that one on the head. Probably going to lose about 500 metres. So as far as that Audax is concerned, I need to put that back on somewhere. And the end should suffice because I stopped the route at the entrance to the campsite rather than inside it, so that should just carry me over the line neatly. From reading the comments, you know, I reading between the lines, I see like you want to see more of the gritty stuff about what I get up to, so to give you a few more details. I am actually going to go to Lakeview Fishery because nature is calling, and they've got some outdoor toilets, which means you don't have to go for the cafe. You can just slip into there quietly, in and out, without anybody raising an eyebrow. However, the last time I was there was an Audax, and one of the fishermen went, "Oh bloody hell, these cyclists, why do they come here?" To which I replied, "They do fantastic breakfast buns, what's your problem?" I think he thought that he was stood far enough away that we couldn't hear him, but I heard every word. It's usually the people that got something to say, to have a bit of their own, have got the loudest mouthpiece. Right, leaving Lincolnshire. Or is it Nottinghamshire? I don't know. Straight into Leicestershire we go. And the borough of Melton Mowbray, home to the famous pork pie. Not forgetting Stilton cheese as well, apparently. Didn't know that. Actually, since I'm going to Lakeview Fisheries, Paul Green, are you watching? Sure you are. I watch all your videos, I'm sure you watch all mine. This is your kind of neck of the woods. I think I've already recommended this place to you. For me it's great because it does honest, genuine British breakfast of things, which means instant coffee. I don't think you'll find a percolator around here, but I'll let you know. I might just sneak a peek through the door. So Mr. Green is looking for a new cafe in his area after the cafe at Beaver Castle closed for good. I've just left Lakeview Fishery and I did go inside after all. Morning. I thought it'd be rude, and as I'm filming this for YouTube, I thought I can't just go to the toilets and not use the services. So I grabbed a coffee and beans on toast. So I definitely can't stop for a while now. Got 8 hours to do 170 kilometers. So typically on a good day I can ride 100 miles in about 6.5 hours move time. The rest is stoppages, so that means I've got an hour and a half of overtime, I guess. The aim is to get there for 7 or before. Got a tailwind still. Hopefully that'll reverse tomorrow, but it's a nice tailwind. It's not instantly dark at 7 o'clock. That's roughly when you know, the sun's pretty much on the horizon, and you know, so we'll get dark soon after that. So it'd be nice to set up in the light. Just stopped at this beautiful church. Really nice. I'm just stopping to have some hula hoops and a few midget gems. Don't know what the mound of earth is there for, except it's a nice place to go for a wee. I know a lot of churches look the same. So I believe I'm still in Leicestershire, although What's next? Northamptonshire. Sun's going down. Probably another 20 minutes left tops. It's just coming up to 7 o'clock. I'm going to be shooting over by about 35 minutes, something like that. So it's going to be nearly dark when I get there. We're stopping in Chipping Norton. There's a co-op en route, of course there is. Maybe 2k away, and then there's one big final climb, because of course campsite's on a hill. Tradition. It'll be dark by the time I put my tent up, that's for sure. It's likely next, you may well see me in the morning, and I'm going to have to get up bright and early tomorrow.
Morning folks. Made it to the campsite. It's pitch black, it was nearly 8 o'clock. I had a puncture, got it in the day, and I just kept, it was like a slow puncture. So I just kept inflating it. I still got it now actually. So it's about 5k from the campsite. Decided I'm just going to nurse it through the day. See how long it takes to annoy me, and then change it anyway. So it looks like another beautiful day. The skies are blue. Not as cold as last night. I guess that's because there's no water around. Not sleeping anywhere near water today. Stow on the Wold Rugby Club. I think it was under £20. I don't know what it is, but since COVID, all the prices shot up and they're still yet to come down. I don't think they will. I think we'll put up with it now. Right, I'm going to start getting moving. I want to be leaving before 8 o'clock today, not well after. I've got some, I'm going to have to double shop tonight, aren't I, for Bank Holiday Monday.
Heading through the northern extent of the Cotswolds in the direction of Bridgnorth. I'm sure there's lots of places before then and go through. Iron Bridge, Bridgnorth, Stafford today. So the northerly wind blowing. Luckily up here at the moment can't feel it. According to Ride with GPS, there's nearly 2,300 metres today, so a little bit more than yesterday, but most of it, thankfully, is in the first half. Not even in the first half. So yeah, get it out of the way. Got here with the Cotswolds, and then I do a little tiny bit, I think it's a little tiny bit, I drew into the Shropshire Hills. So that's the next playground once I leave the Cotswolds. I need to check at some point how many petrol stations I've got on tomorrow's ride, seeing as though everywhere's closing. It's almost though as if it's Christmas Day. Just going through the village of Blockley, and I cannot believe my eyes. A whole street of parked cars, which nothing surprising about that, you might say, but there's not a single car which is parked on the path. That's pretty amazing. Everybody's parked properly on the road. Well done, Blockley. Even the Range Rover's parked on the road properly. Let's see if I can sell you the idea of wild camping and camping on the bike, you know, bike packing. So the advantage, one big advantage of camping in general is you tend to get loads of sleep because there's nothing to do after dark. So you can get up, you know, bright and early in the morning, get going again. Because you sleep really well, you know, you have great dreams and things, except it doesn't necessarily have to be a great dream. I'll share my dream with you, shall I? So last night's dream was an alien invasion. I was living at my mum's house, being somebody that rides bikes, thinking, that's okay. The masses will be riding away in the cars and they'll be all queuing to get away from this alien invasion. I've got the upper hand. What a crazy silly dream that is. But you know, I've had dreams like that before with not necessarily alien invasions, but you know, natural disasters. Yeah, we live in Clifford, you know, right next to the sea. Imagine if there was a tidal wave or tsunami or something like that. But I'm pretty sure I'd have the upper hand. I'd just jump on my bike, cycle into the Wolds and get away from the tsunami or whatever it is. So add that to this stuff of why cycling is great, yeah. All those people in cars, the obese and people with sedentary lifestyles who can't jog away, you know, they'll be drowned in the tsunami that hit the east coast. Is that what it's going to take to get the obesity levels down? Not cycle lanes and building all that kind of thing and getting people downstairs yet. No, tsunami hits the east coast of England, drowning millions of people, except my mum and dad, of course, and sister, and rest of the extended family. Okay, going to change the subject quite dramatically. We're about to enter Stratford-upon-Avon, home to the one and only William Shakespeare, that most famous of writers. I don't know anything about William Shakespeare, apart from he's an author who literally had to learn about in school, and I'm sure he still do. Doesn't speak English, does he? Middle English, I think that was the thing he used to call it, Middle English. Incidentally, Middle English rhymes with gibberish. I'm also going to use this opportunity to put some more air in the back tyre. It's made just about 40k, so yeah, that means like having to pump 5 or 6 times today, so that's not too bad, is it? 3 minutes of time, quarter an hour, pump action. Boy oh, toil and trouble. In fact, so thinking of the Lincolnshire Wolds, I haven't been over there since I got back from the TCR, and it got me thinking earlier, perhaps if there's anybody interested out there, perhaps I can have a meet up if I set a date. Just let me know whereabouts you live if you're interested. Perhaps we could do in 2-3 weeks time, organise something. A bit of a celebration ride for me, really, returning to the Lincolnshire Wolds after finishing the TCR successfully. You know, I'm fond of the Lincolnshire Wolds, it's my home really when it comes to riding the hills and things like that. So let me know if you're interested. Have a bit of a meet up, bit of a catch up, maybe one weekend in October. No crazy miles, just a couple hundred or something. I'm joking.
Some bites, all day breakfast, fish kebab, ginger beer, some of that good stuff.
There must be millions of these in the country. They're going to replace every single one. Seems such a waste, doesn't it? Well, I'm going to go over my allowance a little bit. The question is how much? I'm down to 1 minute. I've still got all those to eat. And this bottle, that's a 2 litre one, so I've filled both water bottles already and that's left over. That'll go in my back pocket and I'll just polish that off quickly. So I'm in Shropshire, heading through the wire forest. Nice, very nice. Apart from there's too much traffic. So today, if you haven't noticed, I'm wearing a new jersey. I got given this by the Brassiere, and that's how you pronounce it. I kept thinking Brassiere. It's from the Brassiere du Hoop. It's not far from Gradisbergen. It's where I stayed before the TCR. It's a cycling restaurant stroke B&B. Found it on Airbnb. So we parked the car as well. Yeah, first time wearing it. It's actually a good fit. It's kind of a racing fit, which I'm pleased about because I don't have many racing fit clothes. The middle pocket seems extra wide as well. So yeah, for me that's a winner. So I've just wandered into a cyclocross race. I came in here, saw the sign for Clee Cycles and thought to myself, there's a cycle shop down the road called that. and they've given me an inner tube. So I eat 3 inner tubes with me now. I'm a little bit more happy. Shame I haven't got time to stick around for them to move. I keep getting asked if I want to do cyclocross. I don't have the bike for it. My next bike though, I'm going to get a gravel bike, so yeah, I think I find it a bit more appealing once I got one of those.
Well, as you can see, that's it. I arrived at camp. It's the following day. I'm at the New Broome Caravan Park, which is right next to a pub. So I had a couple of parties last night, because just like the night before, I arrived and it was after dark. I don't know what went on there, because really super efficient. I think it was just literally the amount of climbing that I had to do throughout yesterday. It was a little bit more than the previous day. Looking outside though, it's looking a bit dull. Look at this, a bit gloomy. I don't know if you can tell on camera. The sky's looking a bit white. I'm not rushing today. It is coming up to 22:08. Probably leave here about 10, so a couple hours later than yesterday. But no rush back. There's less distance to do. Can't be bothered to change that rear tube. I'll find out. Let's see.
So I'm really annoyed with myself. I had plenty of time to change that back tyre. I should have just done it. The bike pump failed me. Nothing wrong with the pump. It's just obviously had it a while, and throughout yesterday I just kept using it extensively to reflate the back tyre. But you know, maybe 3 times I stopped, not a lot. But when I opened the bike pump itself, I took it to pieces. A bit of the inner kind of fallen to pieces, and there's an O-ring which has snapped. All these things together just obviously broke the integrity of the pump. So what do I do in future? Do I bring some canisters with me, or a little spare mini pump or something like that? I think what made it worse is that just no Halfords open. I could have found a Halfords and bought a new pump and there'd been no problems. And my mum and dad, they're coming to pick me up from Belper. I rang them, you know, first. Well, I explored some other options, sent out some messages, nothing happened. Then I thought, oh, I'll tell you what, I wonder if there's a Facebook group rather than a cycling club. So I went out that route. Somebody rang me. Mum and dad are already on that way. I rang them back and said, well, what do you want to do? Because, you know, cycling home, got no pump. I guess you can't plan for every eventuality, unfortunately. That's so annoying. So slow. So I've got full air in my tyres now. Thanks from Dave from Uttoxeter Cycling Club. Came along with his van. His track pump. Also thanks to Bob as well for stopping for me. Well, hello, good morning. It's the following day. Just thought I'd wrap this video up really, because I left it kind of abrupt. I did get home Sunday, as you can see. Of course I got home. But what happened? Yeah, as you saw, my bike pump failed. And as you already know, I was nursing a slow puncher for the last 150k or something. Because obviously I was using the pump all that time. Maybe used it, you know, 4 times just to put the air back in it. And I've had the pump for 2.5 years. Something like that. Okay, so it doesn't seem that long really for a pump, but I've used it extensively during that time. So I learned a lesson over the weekend. One which, well, kind of knew already, but reiterated really, the importance of, you know, if you've got a problem with the bike, sort it ASAP. Don't let it linger, certainly not over multiple days and all that sort of distance. Basically, I was asking for trouble. I mean, what I'm meant to do? If a bike pump fails, you know, you can't take them back up with everything. Anyway, I thought I'd round the video up. Hope you found something entertaining in there. If not, let me know down in the comments below what I can do better to make these videos a bit more compelling. I'm still desperately trying to get my channel a bit more well known. Feel free to hit that copy button, share the link on Facebook and elsewhere, and also just highlight a new button that YouTube have introduced, the super thanks button. So if you want to thank me for anything at all, if you just want to support the channel, show your appreciation for watching the channel over the years, hit that super thanks button and yeah, give a donation. Right, from me, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to have to get to work. I'm loving the headwind. Right, see you later, bye bye.